And immediately Ronnie taking the opportunity to bring that black into play with an excellent safety shot. He's not doing much wrong at the moment. Look where he's put the cue ball tight on the cushion. Matthews at 90% with his safety success rate, but Ronnie's just that little bit better. He needs to find another one here, Matthew. But they don't come much thinner than that.
We'll see if Ronnie plays the same shot here. 3 cushions, try and get behind the green, open some reds up. This is an attacking safety shot he's playing here. Well, he hasn't played. He has played behind the green, but with a different way. But where's the red going?
Well, where's the white gone? Little smile there. Has he covered it? He'll have to swerve that. And he may have to play that, and the white will go into the bunch of reds. Well, there you go. 28 minutes and counting since his last pot. And he'll have to swerve around the blue to knock one in. It's got to be the shot to play and just trust to luck with the cue ball.
Yeah, the one good thing is if he plays it at decent speed, if he doesn't, you know, if the cue ball doesn't follow the red in the pocket, he should have some sort of pot in the black into the right corner. But he needs to pot this quite a full ball pot.
Well, he thought he'd got that. I thought he'd got that, but the red is so close to the pocket. I'm wondering if Ronnie will be tempted with the, as we show you this swerve shot. I thought at this stage he's going to knock the red in. And
just showing it again.
The crowd. Ronnie wondered what the noise was. They were showing that shot again, and the crowd were oohing. Will he play the trick shot with top spin here to try and hold the white? The red so close to the pocket. Sometimes the players will play a banana shot here, Stephen.
Yeah, if he pots the red on the right half of it with extreme top spin, he could land the black into the same pocket here.
Boy, this would be some shot. He's trying it. No, decided against it. We were all getting excited there. But didn't he control the cue ball well? From that position, with the red right over the pocket, that was top class, Stephen.
That was an excellent shot. It's far more difficult than it looks to control the white and bring the white back there. Catch that red a millimetre too thick and the white is nowhere. It just shows you how focused he is on winning this match. You know, there was an opportunity to play that shot for the black.
6.
He knows how important it is to get a big lead today. As I said earlier,
7.
If you can win one of the early sessions by a big margin, it gives you a huge advantage going into the rest of the match.
From 5-2 in front. Matthew won 3 frames in a row.
14.
To level, but Ronnie's already won the last 3 frames.
15.
And he's won them in style. Breaks of 62, 110, 98.
Yes, and Matthew's just as capable of doing this to Ronnie, but unfortunately he's not getting the first chance in each frame.
22.
And that pot success rate tells you the story, just 84% to Ronnie's 93.
23. 30. $31.
I'll tell you what, the referee, Brendan Moore, who's from Sheffield, his first ever World Championship semi-final, is doing a great job here because Ronnie has quickened up. The referee
39.
has to be on his toes.
$46. $47. $54. $55.
We had 3 or 4 very slow frames because the balls were awkward in the first session of the semi-final, but the last 3
63.
frames, just under 9 minutes, just over 13 minutes. This one under 9 minutes already, and he's not far from the winning post in this frame. Well, there's just no one can live with this man when he's like this, and
68.
Matthew can't do anything about this. He just can't get a chance.
No, he must have thought he'd done the hard work.
69.
Getting the match to 5 each, winning the first 2 frames today. But the alarm bells are ringing now.
Yeah, this could be that session you were talking about,
74.
Stephen, where you forge ahead, and
75.
still a long way to go in this match. 2 more sessions, but it's looking a bit ominous the way he's queuing here.
Well, it's just the future of the match. It just puts so much more
82.
pressure on Matthew at the start of each session to get back into the game.
83.
Where Ronnie can, I'm not saying he can relax, but
90.
Unbelievable. Almost made another century break, but he is flowing at the moment. That's breaks of 110, 98, and now that 90, and he extends his lead to 4 frames. It's 9-5 to Ronnie O'Sullivan.
And it's as we were at the start of this match when Ronnie went into a 4-frame lead. And how many times can you ask a player to come back from that sort of deficit without actually knocking the spirit out of him?
It's very tough. It is very tough. And Matthew, in fairness, hasn't done a lot wrong. I mean, he was so close when swerving around the yellow to hit that red over the pocket. It just missed it, and then the frame is over. And it does, as Stephen says, it puts so much pressure on every single shot you play. Not only safety shots, but pots that you're going for if you miss. O'Sullivan is in complete overdrive, in complete control of himself as well, and you can see how much he's gone through the gears, how fast, how much more pace he has around the table. He's really buzzing, and it's like hard to play against.
It is, and really when we look back at it, there's not many mistakes that you can pick out from Matthew because he just hasn't had any shot time.
Not really, and it's a bit like, you know, anything that's going to be thrown at Ronnie O'Sullivan at the moment, it looks like he's got a force field around him. And you know, this could be the biggest ever tournament of I told you so, because he looks like the winner by a mile. Yeah. You know, and well, we all know how talented he is, and we all knew that if he decides to, he could win things like a switching the talent off and on. And when he wasn't the favourite for the event, all of a sudden it looks like he's going to be such a strong favourite by the end of it.
Well, you never know, and we've seen already Matthew Stevens has been able to stand up to him, coming back to 5 frames all, but since then it's all been the rocket.
Well, as Hazel mentioned, he lost the first 4 frames. Matthew, he's now 4 frames behind. He's still not back in the arena. He's probably just psyching himself up just to try and get a couple of frames and stop this mini rot.
Thank you. Frame 15. Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
So 2 more frames to be played in this second session. And there's the 2 reds, one either side of the black. But look at this cue ball. I was just about to say, Matthew could do with both these frames. He could certainly do with one of them to be no worse than 10-6 behind. But if you can't see the balls, you can't pot them.
I think he needs both frames to have any chance, Dennis. In this form, I really don't think how anybody can give Ronnie 4 frame start going into tomorrow. First to 17, these semi-finals. He would only need 7 out of a possible 16 frames.
That touching ball helps Ronnie. You can just send the white around the angles. Just trying to find a difficult spot near the ball cushion. And he's been pretty good at that throughout this semi-final. Just using the 2 cushions rather than 3. Well, he has used the 3 cushions and he's found the gap. So really Matthew has got to really play a telling safety to try and force an error. And as Stephen was saying, pressure on every shot now from Matthew, because he knows if he misses, he's a good idea what's going to happen. So can he put a telling safety in here? Well, that certainly opened the reds, but he hasn't got that cue ball on the cushion. Okay, the black's tied up. A little wry smile from Matthew. There's a red on. But there's a lot of reds in the way to get back to pink or blue. Might just be a gap, believe it or not, between those reds. There you can see it just to the right. Can he find it? Well, he hasn't found the gap, but what a nudge on the red. And when you're playing well, you're cueing well, you get the nice little cannons that put you into good position. That's what Ronnie's looking at, and he's now looking to see where he can put the cue ball. You can go 2 ways: avoid brown and green or avoid brown and yellow. Well, how's your luck?
Six.
A little bit further up the table and he would have had that red just behind the pink, and that would have opened the pink up.
Seven.
Not the cleanest of pots there. He's And back a little too far. He played for the pink. He can still pot the pink. I don't know if he can screw onto the two reds to the right of it. He could, and that's absolutely perfect. I say absolutely perfect. Played the cannon as he intended, but pink has to go as near to its own spot directly behind it.
Yeah, if the pink doesn't pot now, I'm surprised he didn't play the blue there. It's unusual for Ronnie to play a shot that would block a colour up. So we just have to wait and see. See if it pots to the left corner.
He's got too much side on that.
14.
And just tuck in behind the green with the red spread like this. He's looking at the brown also. Now then. Tell you what, that takes some potting at that pace into the middle pocket.
80.
That's for sure. He had the easy snooker behind the green. He's definitely in attacking mode.
In the zone, Dennis, what we call in sport. He just he's not seen anything negative at all at the minute.
And that shot with the opposite hand, he made it look so easy. He's having to work hard for this break.
23.
And he's looking at that shot that you mentioned, Stephen, as to whether the pink will pot. Just checking it out again there. If not, it'll be up for the blue.
$24.
Well, surely even the great Ronnie O'Sullivan can't make a frame-winning clearance with the ball sitting like this, but I wouldn't put it past him. Red, blue, and maybe a little
29.
cannon onto the red next to the pink. Not far enough to be able to do that. He's got the two reds that are near the cushions and those two. So there's four reds available. They look as if they're tied up, but they're not. Didn't quite get the side on that. I was expecting it to spin off the cushion.
35.
That's the end of break. But once again, he's being patient. He was just going to get down there. He was so disappointed with that positional shot. He was just going to get down and play a quick safety, and then he thought better of it. So he's still fully focused, making sure he gets a telling safety.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 35.
Every time Matthew comes to the table, he's got absolutely nothing to go at. And can he see enough of this red to take this long pot on? He could finish on the pink, but look at that, he hasn't potted a ball for almost 45 minutes. That one in the previous frame when he swerved around the blue. It's amazing how he didn't knock that in. As we watch this little tactical battle, we're saying how well these tables are playing, and superfine cloths and the slate. Do you know, the best slate for snooker tables used to be Welsh slate, but they haven't used that since the 70s. There's a shortage of slate. Then they used Italian slate, but these slates are all from China, and they're top quality slate, and they're come to the head offices of our association where they're floated and absolutely they play to perfection. What do you think, Stephen? Is one of them? Well, we know one pot. He'd like to pot the back one of the two. You think, can you see enough of it?
Be interesting to see how hard he hits this. If he plays it with an element of safety, or he plays it a slower pace to make sure he's on a colour. I think he's just got to go 100% for the pot and make sure he's on it. I think he'll play for a colour, possibly blue. I think he'll just miss the cannon on the pink. Well, he played the red that had the most element of safety.
One.
Yeah, it was a guide past the other one just to pot the back red.
It's great when you're in this position. The pockets seem twice the size for you as they do for your opponent.
Three.
Yeah, it's as if the pockets are getting bigger and the balls are getting smaller.
Four.
Really got into that. He only touched that, but overscrewed it somewhat.
Nine.
In the last 4 frames, Matthews only scored 10 points. He just can't get a chance.
10.
I don't know whether the red that's on the black spot goes to the left corner or not. We'll see if Ronnie has to make some sort of cannon on those 3 reds in the future. No, there you can see it clearly goes. And he missed the pink.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 10.
Right, well, Matthews had his first chance for quite some time, and there's enough points there, although the reds are awkward. We just show you Ronnie just overcooking that one slightly. Look at that, nearly 50 minutes since Matthews' last pot. Come on, Matthew, time to get back to work again. And even then it's awkward queuing with that red. He's unlucky. He got the red, but he held his hand out there. You could see him, you know, he tried to bring the black into play, and look where the black's finished. I'll just show you it again. Just try to open the black up, sent it off the top cushion onto the side cushion.
That was nicely struck.
6.
As usual, when you're up against it, the chances are never easy. 3
7.
reds on the right cushion, pink and black on the left cushion. There's a nice angle here. Follow through, can on the reds.
Now he's got a nice little angle here. He's fully stretched. He could try to free the black, but he could play nicely for the blue. Just depends how he feels. It's coming up a little bit short.
30.
Just going to watch that green and brown to get back up the table.
I think Matthew came around just to look at the possibility of stunning the white in between green and brown and coming down and trying to dislodge these reds. He could choose to just play for either one in the right corner. I think it's worth a try, because even if he misses a can, he's going to be on the red near the black spot.
Just as you mentioned, Stephen, he did try to drop on those 2 reds. He's hit it a little harder than he intended, but he's got the red that you mentioned that's near the black spot. But he might be hampered slightly for that. That's a bit of a distraction for Matthew. But well cued. He's lost the cue ball.
90.
He did well queuing over that red, but just hit it a little too hard, and it's not a good angle on the yellow to get up to the 2 reds. So he's just tucking in behind it.
Matthew Stevens.
Just got a big bounce off that cushion there, which he wasn't happy with, so playing a snooker behind the yellow.
Foul and a miss.
Bit of a chance. Bit of a chance. He's found the gap there. Still not going to be easy, but if he could get himself onto the blue in such a way, he might be able to develop the last red. Just checking the scoreboard. Not the easiest shot he's going to be faced with.
Well, there's a fair bit of mileage left in this 15th frame, obviously, and then we've got 1 more to go before the end of this session. But I'm afraid we will have to leave you here on BBC Two. We've come to the end of our allocated time. You can continue watching on the red button and online if you have a computer handy. Then Rishi Prasad returns at 7 o'clock with part 3 of the Maguire-Carter semi-final here on BBC Two. We're all gearing up for an extra special weekend in Sheffield. Catch you again soon from Ken, Steve and me. Goodbye.
Well, he's done well to hit that so hard, and yet I think he's snookered. I mean, he cued that beautifully. He could have dropped it in. To play it with that accuracy is a great shot, but being in the snooker is not so great, especially one that put yourself in.
If he had just dropped the blue in, he wouldn't have had a pot on the yellow from which he could have got position on the green. Trying to get round, at least he would have had a chance of being at a potting angle on which he could have held for green.
Matthew Stevens, 12.
He's back in the frame though, only 10 behind after trailing 45-0. Always intended to put the yellow in the middle of the black cushion.
Oh, this is a worry.
Wow.
I tell you, it could have been a lot worse.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 4.
I think it bounced again off the cushion, I have to say, but he hit it wrongly. It's almost a go-again shot. Why would, what would be your advantage here playing it, I wonder? I'll be inclined to put in my opponent here, give him the headache of this.
When Stevens hit the yellow thin, I thought there was every chance he was going to leave a pot on. Of course the in-off was unlucky, and now O'Sullivan, having put him in again after that foul, he's got a problem of not leaving the yellow on. If he plays it into the pink, the tendency will be for the yellow to stay more or less where the pink is, certainly down in that corner.
I think he knows he's in trouble. Put it this way, Ronnie should get a snooker in behind the pink, and if he gets it right, it could be horrible. And I say that is horrible because and if he can go into the bump, I think we'll do a miracle to hit this. Minor miracle. How'd you like these? Now, I think the focus might be on Brendan Moore here, because if he makes a good effort and misses this, is it a miss? That's the question. Well, that's well,
Wow.
that's not his problem anymore,
Ronnie
because Ronnie will not be taking anything there. That was an evil snooker to be in, wasn't it? If he'd have gone past that somehow, although didn't even make it to the first cushion, if he'd gone past it, maybe the referee would have said this was an occasion where he wouldn't have called a miss. But he did on that one, but Ronnie carries on and it will clear up, I should think.
2.
Only needs the green, in fact. It's going to be 5 frames in a row for O'Sullivan from 5 all.
14. 20.
Not a frame to the change, featuring a big break, but O'Sullivan has won it nevertheless. He increases his lead to 10-5 with 1 more frame to play in this session. Well, got to feel for Stevens to some extent.
Yeah. I mean, he's in trouble here, isn't he? It was the shot before that he played that got himself in this mess. Ronnie saw no advantage to playing this shot himself. He put Stevens back in, and then when we eventually see this shot, you'll see that Matthew just hangs his head because he didn't have a shot on, and after it he had even less of a shot. He was behind the pink. Doesn't look like we're going to get to see this shot, but the fact is it was the shot that cost him the frame.
Yes, evil snooker coming up, and there was no escape from it.
Thank you. The final frame of this session, Matthew Stevens to break.
So it's going to be either 11-5 or 10-6 for O'Sullivan overnight.
Yeah, and don't forget this is 5 frames in a row from O'Sullivan, from 5 all.
And let's not forget either how well Stevens played in the first 2 frames.
Exactly, and been a strange match because Ronnie won the first 4 without ever playing that well, and he's won 5 in a row, but in the middle it was all Stevens. But I feel that he has to win this frame. He really does. From 11-5, it's maybe a long match, but it's an even longer match when you've got to win another 12 frames still on a final day. Here's the shot that he's faced with. There's the side of the pack, but the red on the left is the problem that he's snookered behind the green on.
Oh dear.
Foul, miss. Ronnie O'Sullivan 4. Sorry? Extend press.
Bad misjudgment that.
1.
It's not as if Stevens has missed loads of chances
8.
in his 5-frame losing streak. He's hardly had any.
Well, no, he spent a lot of time in trouble, hasn't he? Trying to escape from the positions
9.
Ronnie's put him in. He's got the right balance today between good safety and dangerous break building as O'Sullivan. It's not bad. It didn't look such a good result because the split was tremendous.
16.
These reds have really spread. But he's on one to the left middle if he wants it.
There
are times when I think that O'Sullivan plays like a computer game. You press the button, the ball goes in.
No, he's got an incredible instinct for the game, hasn't he? And he's so quick to see the shot. He's just... I always say this, but it's true. He's absolutely born to play this game, Ronnie, wasn't he? Just everything about him. There have been one or two players like that over the years.
23.
Snooker's answer to Mozart. Peter Ebdon described him a few years ago.
$30. 31. 38. $39.
Kind of beautifully played as well. And before you
46.
know it, looks like another frame's gone.
$47. $54.
O'Sullivan's pot success rate has crept up another point to 94%.
55.
Well, still 83 on, but that would suggest that Matthew is going to get a chance now, and Ronnie's going to miss this, but I don't think that's going to happen. Every red that's potted, the points remaining goes down by 8. So because the red and the black obviously is not on.
61. $68.
So this is frame ball coming up.
What a fabulous exhibition of the game. O'Sullivan has given this afternoon.
76. 77.
Quite unfazed by the way that Stevens won the first 2 frames of the afternoon. O'Sullivan has responded
84.
superbly.
Thank you. 85.
His 5-frame winning streak has featured breaks of 62, 110, 98 and 90.
92.
And here's another century coming up.
93.
Yeah, and he could make 143 here. Not that he's too concerned, but more brilliance from O'Sullivan. What a session it's been for him.
101.
Can't make any more than 141 now.
106.
Oh. Is there anything he can't do on the snooker table?
113. 113.
And with that break of 113, Ronnie O'Sullivan brings a fabulous session to a close. He's won the last 6 frames and leads by 11 frames to 5 going into their penultimate session tomorrow morning. So that's all for now from liveworldsnooker.tv. We'll be back at 7 o'clock with the penultimate session of the match between Ali Carter and Stephen Maguire, with Carter resuming 10-6 up. I hope you'll join us then.